So here's a preset that I've created called Bang Bang Guitar. Okay, this month turns out to be the official reverb month. In this video, my friends, I'm going to show you the new Radiance reverb by Wave Alchemy, and this reverb emulates the iconic EMT140 with a twist. So if you like reverbs, stick around, let me show you. Just a few weeks ago, I made a video about my reverb awards. I said on that video that I was postponing it because every time I tried to do it, a new reverb was coming up and I wanted to add it to the list. I think I should have postponed this video even more because just a few days after I released it, Wave Alchemy reached out to me and they told me that they have a new reverb plugin coming up. They gave me access to the early beta version and they asked me what I think about it. And I was actually really impressed. Full disclosure, this video is kindly sponsored by Wave Alchemy, but they have no editorial input in this video. They haven't watched it before I release it, and these are my own personal thoughts. This is not a review, but I'm going to try and play as much material through the reverb, and I'm going to show you how it sounds so that you know if this reverb is for you. I'm going to have a discount code down below. This is not an affiliate link, but this is a discount code for you so you can get this reverb a little bit cheaper. So this is Radiance, this is the interface, and I like that we have multiple interface options with all the Wave Alchemy plugins. Now, like I said, this emulates the EMT140 reverb, and we're gonna talk about this. But let's listen to this classic plate reverb sound on this vocal.
Soy el fuego que arde tu piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed, el castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal, tú el aire que respiro yo y la luz de la luna en el mar. La garganta que ansiomo.
Now, one thing that I immediately liked when I tried the beta version of this plugin was that we have different models. Let's play them.
Soy el fuego que arde tu piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed, el castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal, tú el aire que respiro yo y la luz de la luna en el mar. La garganta que ansio mojar, que temo ahogar de amor.
Now, the plate sound on vocals is the magic recipe. Like, plates and vocals go together, and I'm always on the hunt for a good plate reverb, no matter how many reverbs I have. Now, plates go way back. Radiance emulates the EMT140, and this is an iconic reverb. If you've never seen a real plate reverb in real life, it's a very interesting concept. Basically, you have a metal plate. It's a massive metal plate. In real life, what you would do in order to use an EMT140 would be to send the signal from the console using a send, and it would go to the amplifier on the actual reverb, and then the signal would be amplified and sent into a metal sheet, and this metal sheet would resonate according to the signal that you sent to it, and it had a dampener so you could have the reverb longer or shorter. It's really fascinating, and the first time I experienced a real plate reverb and I got to use it was in Rockfield Studios in Monmouth, where Queen recorded. These are beautiful things and they're almost museum pieces these days. So this is what we have here, and let me give you a very quick tour of the interface. The first thing that we have here is the input and output, very self-explanatory, but the great thing that you can do is you can have a drive control here, and I'm gonna show you how this sounds. This can yield some really interesting results. We have different plate models. We have the decay time, of course, which by the way you can actually adjust like this, and not only using the plus and minus buttons. Pretty late that you can also sync it to the tempo of your track. Low control, air control, smooth. If you watched my glow video, you will know exactly what that is. This is great for drums so that you don't get this grainy sound when you have strong attacks. Ducker, for vocals it's great. And we also have two types of modulation, flux and ensemble. We can turn this into a mono reverb and we can have a modern version of this reverb. And if that wasn't enough, there is a special effects page where you can set up a gate, you can set up a duck release, you can change the low width, the high width, and you have extra characters here as well as an EQ that's mid-side. And just so you know, I'm still using a beta here, so by the time you watch this, there will be the release version out, so there might be a few changes maybe, I'm not sure about that. Now let me tweak a few parameters so that you can hear what sounds you can achieve. First, let's try the ducker. It's really useful for vocals because it lets them breathe in the mix.
Soy el fuego que arde tu piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed, el castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal.
What's even better is that we can go to the effects page here and we can have even more control for all these features. For example, if I want to go here and change the release for my ducker, I can do this so I can have a more smooth release, or maybe I want to have a little bit of pumping.
Soy el fuego que arde tu piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed, el castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal, tú el aire que respiro yo.
Now let me play a little bit with these parameters here.
Soy el fuego que arde tu piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed, el castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal.
So this is the ensemble. I can go to flux now. Let's see.
Piel, soy el agua que mata tu sed.
If you've watched my glow video, you will be very familiar with flux and what it does. I really like it to give interest and movement to my reverb tails.
El castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caudal.
One thing that you might want to know is that if you get this plugin, you will also find my own personal presets in there, and they are going to be included. I know some of you asked me about my presets that I showed on the Glow video, and they are in the Glow plugin as well. So here's a preset that I've created called Bang Bang Guitar. Let me know your thoughts down below. What I really like about this is that it makes a sound that's relatively small sound huge while retaining the integrity of the sound. And this is what plate reverbs do. Vintage, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's try a different preset that I've created called Low Bitrate. Now, in order to achieve this sound, what I did, I went to the effects page here and I made sure that I used the gritty character. And let me show you how these sound if I compare them. So you have loads of sounds to play with. Here's another example with some cinematic percussion. This I call cinematic massive boom. And let me show you what I've done here. First of all, I've used the drive. Let's listen without the drive. Now, the drive in this case adds richness to the sound that you wouldn't normally get just by adding reverb. Now, the other thing that I want to show you in this case is that you can have a separate width. So you can have the low width, and I can change the width from my low frequencies, and extra control for the high width. And you can change the crossover point right here. And one of the things that is really powerful is the EQ section. Of course, you can EQ the reverb, that's absolutely fine, but you can also EQ the mids and sides separately. So if I want to make the reverb a little bit brighter on the sides, I can do this very easily. Check it out. And maybe for the mids, I might want to remove some of the low end. And of course, there's no way I'm not going to show you drums. I'm going to use my modern 80s drum kit. I have a suspicion that it's going to work great. This is completely dry. I haven't added any of the sauces. So I'm playing it live. Let's go and add Radiance. And I'm going to use my preset Big 80s gated snare. So now if I go to the effects page, you will see that I have a gate here. It's activated. Without the gate, it sounds like this. So really long. And we have a hold control and a threshold control. Now you will see that we have this auto button here. This will basically set the threshold automatically for you. So, but with the graphics here, it's so easy to set up the gate. And you can adjust the hold. To be honest with you, this is one of the best reverb gates I've ever used. It's so easy to dial in. And with the auto control, you can be really foolproof. And you know me by now. I always like non-linear reverbs, especially for toms, and I created a preset like this here. So I'm taking advantage of the gate, and let's see how it sounds. And let me show you what the drive does in this case. The drive control, I would really suggest that you try it out on different source material because it really behaves in a different way depending on what kind of sounds you're going to fit it with. You know what? Let's do some more. Come on, let's do some pads. I'm going to play it live on the keyboard. No reverb yet. And this preset I call Pad Harmonics. Check what happens with the drive. If we solo the reverb, you will see how it sounds. So there's a lot of room right there for different sounds. And you know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to play this preset that I've created for guitars. This is called This Strat Sounds Huge on this vocal. Let's see.
Soy el agua que mata tu sed, el castillo, la torre, yo soy la espada que guarda el caos.
So in this case, I'm utilizing the pretty lay that's actually timed, so I have it on 8th notes. When it comes to the smooth control, let me show you what this is useful for. For example, let's say I have these drums here. Let's add a little bit of reverb. Let's listen to just the reverb. So what smooth does is it cleans up the attack of the drum so it doesn't let it go through. so we can get a smoother reverb for the drums. See that? It gives you the reverb that you want, but without blurring the attack of your drums, especially when it comes to percussive sounds. Let's try the different models on a synth plug. So there you go, my friends, this is Radiance. I hope that this video helps you get a good idea of what sounds you can expect from this reverb. All the presets that I showed you today are going to be included in the final release version. If you like this video and you want to support the channel, you know what to do. Hit a like, leave a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about Radiance in the comments down below. And I'll see you on the next one, my friends. Take care and bye-bye.